Okay, so week one, this is John Dunnganon's Ageless Jiu Jitsu. We're going to look at mount survival. So say Tyrone's in the bottom, just turn around and go back this way. Mount isn't really that uncomfortable unless he manipulates your body. I mean, if I'm here and Tyrone's and tucked, I mean, he doesn't really feel the uncomfortableness, say, of like side control, where I'd be heavy as a whale, putting a lot of body pressure on him, you know, trying to push the air out of his diaphragm. Mount, I'm not that heavy from mount. Even if Tyrone bumps and gets my hands on the mat, he still doesn't feel that uncomfortable. It's only when I start manipulating parts of his body, for instance, if I put a cross face on him, I start driving my shoulder into his face so his head's pointing in one direction and his knees are pointing straight up. That can be uncomfortable. Maybe I start to win the underhook and start to get his arm above his head and start maybe controlling his head and bringing my chest into his face. So now it does feel uncomfortable, but not like in a weight kind of thing, more you just can't breathe. But that could easily fixed by turning your head, and then just turn this way, bro, and then I could start maybe putting a wee bit more pressure on him by grapevining with two hooks in and stretching him out, or possibly crossing my ankles and engaging my hip. So there'll be certain times when you're in mount bottom when he's starting to do those things, we need to look at ways of closing that down. So we'll look at the cross face to start with. So say Tyrone's in mount. We want to be thinking about this concept of keeping everything inside. So from mount bottom, I want my hands on the inside. I want my elbows tucked in on the inside. And eventually I'm going to try and get my knees to the inside when we start to work the elbow and the escape. But again, this is just surviving. So let's just say from this position, we always want to try and get our limbs back to the inside to stay safe. Let's just say Tyrone whacks on that cross face, and he's putting pressure. So what's uncomfortable? His shoulder's turning my jaw in the opposite direction of my knees. So my free left hand grabs the shoulder, clap my elbow to my body, and he starts just pulling his shoulder back so I can physically turn my chin straight up. So now it's not uncomfortable. My other hand wants to stay on the inside. That's just going to monitor his left bicep. So again, I've got inside control with one of my hands. I haven't with this hand, but now from there I'm going to start putting an overhook on his arm, pulling it into my body, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of a bridge, and more than likely if Tyrone knows Jiu Jitsu, he will post with that hand. That was a trick question. So now if you've noticed, my two hands are on the outside. Again, we could go straight into Heisman's and things like that there, and moving back and going into single leg X, but staying in the kind of area of mount survival. All I'm going to do is now swim my hands back inside again. So just take a look at that again. So if he cross faces me, first part of the drill is I just turn his shoulder, so now I can physically move my head. Right hand controls the bicep, and now I'm just going to put an overhook on him. Now my hands are on the outside, which is never really a good thing. I'm just going to do a little bridge in the direction of my overhook, and once he posts, my hand comes back inside. My whizzer comes back inside, and now I'm back into inside control again with my hands and my elbows. Let's just say he wins the cross face, second part of the drill. He starts to win this underhook, and he's got it to the point where my ear is listening to my shoulder, which is never a good thing. So again, now we're in another uncomfortableness position. I'm going to start to put a whizzer on him. Now I'm only going to get so far, but the detail is I need to bring my right elbow to my body, and you know I don't want to be muscling things, so I'm just going to take my feet to the outside of Tyrone's, and now I'm going to walk my feet towards my elbow, which now allows me to bring my elbow to my body. If he still has the cross face on, I'm going to be bumping again, and now it's all about getting inside control with my hands. So I'm surviving. Just turn this way, bro. So he has the cross face, he starts to work the underhook, gets it right to the point where, you know, I'm in deep trouble here, so I'm just going to put the whizzer on. I take my feet to the outside, and now I'm going to start walking towards my overhook. once I have that, yes, we can go for the escape, but again, we're just staying in the area of surviving. If I bridge in that road, he has to release the crossface, and now I want inside control again. Let's look at, just turn this way, bro. Let's look at what he can do with his legs. So if his hands is on the mat, he maybe is skydiving this time. He starts to put in grapevines to straighten me out. First thing I'm thinking about is kicking out at a 45-degree angle, bringing my free leg over and finding the heel of the other foot. I'm going to push down on that, bend that leg and straighten my left leg, put it on the mat. Try to put grapevines in. This is not going to happen. So my legs are controlling that space. So again, grapevines in again. We've covered this before. They just kick out at a 45-degree angle. Bring my leg to the inside. Find his heel. Push it. And now I just put that leg on the mat. And again, I'm primed now for elbow knee or whatever escape I want to do. The other thing he can do is cross his ankles under my butt, or tuck his feet underneath my butt. So all we're doing is the same thing. I can stretch my legs out, and now I can feel which foot's on top. So now I can bring my foot up. When I stretch my legs out, I can feel that Tyrone's left leg's on top. So my left foot is going to push on his left foot. Again, I push down, and then I get that same safety position again, whereby I have one leg bent, one leg straight. Let's just talk about this way, bro. What I'm doing with my hands. So if I'm flat on my back, another thing I can be thinking about is, I know he wants to cross face me. I'm just going to put my hands on the side of my head. So now when he works that cross face, it's not really doing too much trouble now. I try to turn my chin, bro. I'm quite good here. Now, you might think that's a big mistake, because anytime we raise our hands, Tyrone's going to be getting into eye mount. That's fine if he gets underneath my armpits, but anytime we're here and I put my hands here, my elbows are tucked, so Tyrone tries to get inside my elbows with his knees. It's not really happening. If he tries to cross face me, it's not as bad as this. And if I want, from here I can go now move into the second position, which is just smearing my hand through my hair and turning into elbow knee position. So let's just take a look at that again. If I'm flat on my back, okay, my hands are on the side of my head. My elbows are tucked, that's the main thing, inside position. And now from there, as he tries to put that cross face on, tries to go for the underhook, I can just smear this off. Now I turn onto my side, free still there. Anytime I'm on my side, I want my hands on the inside of his hips. I want my elbow on the inside of his knee, and I want my far elbow on the inside of the far hip. Again, Danaher's a real big fan of the elbow knee escape, bringing the knee to the inside using this concept of the rising shrimp. So all I'm going to do is bridge onto my left shoulder and bring my left knee inside. So now we're into this third concept. Hands inside, elbows inside, and now I'm starting to bring my knees inside. Okay, and we want to be thinking about that concept the whole time you're in mount, surviving on the bottom. Hands inside, elbows inside, knees inside eventually, and keep everything tight. Let's just get a better angle on that. So, we know he wants to cross face, we know he wants to win this underhook, good. We know he can grapevine with his legs, we know he can cross his ankles. We've shown you methods of how to deal with all that to sit up, bro. But even I don't have to wait till he tries to cross face. If I get his hands in the mat and I feel he's going to cross face, just put your hands here. Try to get high mount. My elbows are tucked. When I'm on my right, I just smear that off, and then I turn into the second position. Now I'm on my side, everything's inside, so now I'm looking to bring my knees inside. So just do that rising shrimp. If he's tight, if Tyrone's tight with his elbow, I can physically shake my knee to bring it inside. And now from there, I'm staying tight. We have inside position with our hands, with our elbows, with our knees. And if you keep that in your mind anytime you're on Mount Bottom, and have a system of dealing with when he tries to make you uncomfortable by manipulating parts of your body.